If you're anything like us here at We Tried It, you probably signed up for one of those meal delivery services. You got a coupon for 20 meals for $2 and you thought, man, this is too good to be true. We wanted a new way to do family dinners. And you probably signed up, but you didn't realize how much chopping there'd be, how much mincing, and how much pickling there'd even be, or even worse, what did the cleanup look like? So if you're ready to hear about one of our favorite gadgets, our favorite things we've ever tried, read on to hear about the Tovala Smart Oven. It puts services like Blue Apron and HelloFresh completely off the map in our book. It's a little bit different, but we think you're going to like it. We sure did. So just like every other home delivery meal service, comes to you once a week in a box. It says Rethink Home Cooking, and we sure think they did. A lot of packaging. We don't like that, but that's pretty much the only way there is to ship it. Inside is 3 meals, a wide variety of meals. I'll talk about that here in just a second. They come in these little tins. Each meal usually has 2 tins, and I'll explain why. Here's the key, this QR code. You're going to see more of that in just a second. But on top of that, each recipe, as they call it, each meal has really easy to follow instructions on it. And you can see on this recipe, there's just a couple of steps. And even better, there's no mincing, there's no chopping. Everything comes to you in these 2 tins, and these 2 tins usually comes with some condiments. You can see here there's sriracha, lime wedge, sesame, caramel glaze, and a little bit of oil that goes on top of it. So the instructions just simply take the glaze and put it on top of the meatballs, and put the oil mixture and put it on top of the broccoli. That's literally how easy this is. Then just put the 2 tins in the Tovala oven, and here's that QR code magic I was talking about. Check this out. You simply go and you scan your QR code. It's kind of hard to hold both the camera and the QR code. And the QR code loads up all the information, the combination of steaming, baking, and broiling that you need to make the perfect recipe. Just hit that little button and you'll see it start. If you're curious, you can always look at the app that you've set up on your phone. It's super easy to set up and just see where you are. See what step it's in. You see it's on step 2 of 4 and it's got 16 minutes left. They even send you a nice push notification when it's done. When it's done, simply open up the oven, take the 2 things out, put on the sriracha, and 18 minutes later you literally have this. This is no doctoring. This is something I did. I'm not a cook. I'm not a chef. Took about 30 seconds of prep, 30 seconds to clean, 18 minutes in the oven, and you have a perfect dish ready to go. That's why this is one of our favorite products we've ever tested out. Okay, so here are some important details you should know about the Tovala oven before you go ahead and buy it. First thing is that Tovala is a combo smart oven and a meal service. I'll talk about how much the Tovala costs here in just a second. But that's a key thing you should know is that you have to buy the oven and the meal service. It's still super affordable. So what makes the Tovala oven smart? It's a really good question. It has the ability to steam, broil, and bake all at different times. You may ask, well, why is that important? Well, I didn't know this before I bought a Tovala oven, but being able to steam is a great thing to do because it doesn't dry out the food like a typical oven or microwave does. And being able to do all 3 of them really works out some amazing magic. If you just try it, you'll see. I don't fully quite understand it, to be honest with you, but it does a great job with all the meals. They literally just come out perfect. It's also connected to Wi-Fi. You may ask, well, why the heck would I want that? You want that for one simple reason. So the app can work with your Tovala oven. Tell you where you're at. You create new recipes on the app. You don't really need to use the app a whole lot, but you can if you want, especially if you want to create your own recipes. That's the best way to do it. Each meal takes about 15 to 20 minutes to create. Literally takes about 30 seconds to prep it, 30 seconds to clean up. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. That is literally how long it takes. And you have to buy the oven first. Now, this is a little bit weird. You can buy the oven for $399, and not have to buy any of the meal plans. Or if you commit to buying a handful of meals it's $199, and there's really no risk because you can even return the oven after 100 or before 180 days come up. It's a great deal, great way to test it. We were sure that we weren't going to like it, and we kept the box, and there's no way we'll return it now. It's a great deal at $199. As I'll talk about in a second, the meal plans are almost exactly the same price as like a HelloFresh, so that's even better. 3 meals, pretty simple. It's $36 for 3 meals. Right on par with a lot of the other services. I don't know why you would pick to do those unless you really like to cook, and I just am not one of those people. All right, so here's what we love about Tovala. It literally is the easiest meal prep ever. That's been our biggest complaint about all the delivery meal services. They take forever to create, to make, and then you have to clean up after that. Like, one of them told me I had to pickle onions to make it, and I was literally like, no way, I'm not doing that. Second, the food is delicious. They have created the recipes to work with both the food and the oven, and we've never had anything come out wrong. I would say don't leave the food in there a whole lot longer after it's done. It can tend to cook a little bit after it's done. Just make sure you get it out as soon as it's done. And the food is awesome. It is super good. It's healthy food that we probably normally wouldn't cook. Like, I probably wouldn't have meatballs a lot, but that's one thing that's on their menu quite a bit. It's really great. Something a little bit different, gets us out of our comfort zone. All the salmon dishes are also awesome. I just don't trust myself to cook salmon on its own, so it's really healthy food that we normally don't cook. Like I've said before, price is about the same as Blue Apron and HelloFresh. So unless you really like to cook, I don't know why you'd pick those services. And even if you buy the oven, there's no risk. So like I said, you can return the oven. If you paid $399 for it or $199 for it, there's literally no risk. So give it a shot. The only thing you have to waste is maybe a couple meals if you don't like the meals. But you'd be out that money anyway if you were with Blue Apron or HelloFresh. The cool thing is my wife eats a lot more carbs than I do, so we can do 2 different meal plans, and that's what we do. I actually select my own meals and she selects her own. If you select the same meal plans, you can actually put all the trays in the oven at the same time. If you have 2 different meal plans and 2 different meals coming, you obviously have to do 2 different runs at the oven, which is not a big deal since one of us is usually with the kiddo and the other one's making a meal, and then we'll switch off. So pretty cool option. And last but not least, one of the things we love is you can make your own dishes. I'll talk about that more here in just a second, but Tovala even has a community website where people have posted their own reviews or their own recipes of what they like and how to make them. Really cool way to be able to try some new things. I use this egg souffle dish that is basically just cheese and egg, and it's awesome, especially with the recipe that they have on there. But nothing is perfect. We really like Tovala, but there's a couple things that we don't love about it. Some of the meals are just misses. You're going to have that with any meal service, frankly. Some of the meals we just don't care for. For example, the last meatballs that they had, the traditional meatballs, is one of the regular items for last month. It just had a bunch of onions in it, and I'm not a huge onion fan, especially in meatballs. So some of the things are you're just not going to like them, but that's going to be the case with any meal service. Another thing that we wish would be different is that meals arrive at our house on Wednesday. We've seen maybe some people get them on Tuesday. We're not in a huge metropolitan city, so we don't get them till Wednesday. Ideally, they'd come on Monday, but I totally get with supply chain why it doesn't get here till Wednesday. It's not necessarily a deal killer because they usually last until the following Wednesday, but we really like to cook in the house on weekdays, and we end up having more of these on the weekends. You have to pick it far in advance on what you order. I think it's 2 weeks. Not ideal, but I mean, if you're going to be on vacation or something like I was a couple weeks ago, I forgot to put it on pause, and I got it just because it was several weeks out. It's not that big a deal, but something that we don't love. This is a big deal for me. There's no ketogenic option. I'm on the keto diet, which is low carbs. A lot of their stuff has rice and potatoes. I just don't eat it. Seems like a bit of a waste. Sometimes my wife will eat it, but no keto option. It's not a deal killer, but I love a keto option. And last thing that we really don't like is your own recipes need a lot of guesswork. I do this keto dish where I basically bake cheese, and I probably burned 3 or 4 batches of cheese just trying to get it done. But once again, not perfect, like nothing is, but we definitely would not hesitate to give Tovala 2 thumbs up. It's a great product, a great service. If you're trying to eat something a little bit healthier, trying to eat stuff that's fresher, and you want all the great benefits of HelloFresh and Blue Apron, but you just don't want to deal with the mess, and you just don't want to deal with the prep, and God knows you don't want to freaking pickle some onions to enjoy your meal. So we can't recommend Tovala enough. It's not perfect, but nothing is. It's a great option for you. We hope you check it out.